Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Nice card at Delaware Park on Saturday. Four stakes races, two of the graded variety, including race number 6, the grade 3 Delaware Oaks for 3-year-old fillies going a mile and a 16th. Now, before we get to the analysis, 4th of July weekend is right around the corner. Saratoga and Delmar's right around the corner. So take advantage of our 4th of July sale. Save up to 50% off. Select handicapping products shop. DRF.com. Here's the field for the grade 3 Delaware Oaks. The 3 shotgun Hottie, a little bit of class relief, Mike. Took on a couple of good ones in New York. Nostalgic and Venti Valentine in the Gazelle, and she's run very well in all 3 of her races in New York this winter.
Yeah, she really did. She got into really good form. She was actually pretty good as a 2-year-old as well, Dan. But it really did feel like she upped her game, when they came back as a 3-year-old with her. And, exits a rock solid performance last time in the Gazelle.
And she might have the right running style for this race, because as we take a look at the time form US pace projector, they're expecting a red bar scenario, which indicates a fast pace. Now, Chardonnay is a speed horse coming off a gate-to-wire victory, unadulterated the 7. Her best efforts have come when on the lead. Republique, we'll see if she'll be able to show the same kind of speed on dirt as she did on synthetic. I'm not sure if the pace will be blazing, but it should be real solid.
Yeah, to me, I think it could be fast. I kind of feel like that the key to the whole thing, Dan, is the 6 Sandstone, because if that horse, to me anyway, if that horse is going to be any good, it's going to be because they go back to using her speed. She ran a couple of pretty impressive races towards the end of last year where they just put her right up on the pace, and I just wonder if they're going to go back to those tactics in here.
Now, the number 1, Republique, is 2 for 2 in her career. Both of those races came over the Tapeta surface at Gulfstream. But if you think she's going to like dirt, you look at her pedigree and you see she's a half to Rombauer, who, of course, won the Preakness. Let's watch Republique's most recent start. Stretching out from 5.5 to a mile and 70, she showed a lot more tactical speed up close to the pace. She's already taken it over, and she's going to hold the rest of the field off. I don't think this was the greatest field in the world that she beat, but she obviously has a little bit of dirt in her pedigree. I talked to Safi Joseph earlier today. He said she was surprised that she won at 5.5 in her debut, thought that was going to be too short for her.
Yeah, that's interesting, because when I watched the race, I thought the same thing. And she didn't look like a sprinter to me, Dan, but she was able to keep those horses in range, and she finally closed them down at the end. I liked her debut. I thought she even took a step forward last time. I thought she won that race pretty easily at the end of the day last time, Dan. I think there's a chance she turns out to be pretty good. And as you've already pointed out, her pedigree is very, very versatile. She's supposed to be okay on dirt.
There's a chance the Midnight Stroll, the number 2, is going to show some speed. I talked to John Terranova today, and he was really interested in trying to take advantage of this inside post. He think he might be quicker than Republique leaving the gate. This horse won 2 in a row at Tampa Bay, and then last time out in the Black-Eyed Susan just never got as forward as she wanted to be. I think that she's better than what she showed in the Black-Eyed Susan, although the race at Tampa 2 starts back, it was an easy lead over a speed-favoring track.
Yeah, it was, and she was on a cut back there. She had all the best of it that day, but you know what? She still ran pretty well, and I liked her race off the layoff too. When they went 2 turns with her down at Tampa, she made the lead that time as well, but I liked the way that she won that race. I think there's a chance that she turns out to be pretty good. I would just put a line through the Black-Eyed Susan. Everything that could have gone wrong for her in that race really went wrong with her. Bumped at the start, bumped again on the first turn, just lost all position at that point, and then was just super wide around the track trying to make a run around the final turn. I actually feel like she ran better than it may look on paper in that race.
Shotgun Hottie is the number 3. I talked to her trainer, Bill Morey, who said this little break is by design, a couple of months. He wanted to focus on that 3-race series in New York. She ran well in all the races. Winning the Ruthless at 7/8 was a bit of a surprise, because he thought that distance would be a little bit short for her. Last time out in the Gazelle, she ran a good 3rd. Let's watch that effort. She was in between horses on the backstretch and into the turn, outpaced a bit on the second turn. She gets to the outside. She's going to really run on the final 16th to get 3rd. And maybe it's notable that the top 2 finishers pretty much rode the rail throughout.
Yeah, she ran okay in here. I mean, she took a little bit of a shuffle when they came into the backstretch. She didn't lose that much position, though. I thought she finished up pretty well here. She's only 3rd best, but it's certainly a good performance from her. I liked her form over the winter, Dan. I mean, listen, she's the morning line favorite in here, and she's clearly no superstar. So, I wouldn't argue too hard with anybody who thought they could beat her in this race, but I do think she's the horse to beat.
Chardonnay is very consistent, the number 4, from a Beyer speed figure standpoint. Beyer's in the mid to upper 70s. She scored last time out in gate-to-wire fashion on Preakness week. We're going to watch that effort, and she was just able to get to the lead against a field that she could have handled on paper, and she did. She holds them off to win with a 76 Beyer. Now, she's taking a step up in class, and not only is she facing tougher horses, she might face a tougher pace scenario.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it too. I mean, she runs fine in here. I don't really want to knock the performance, but I wasn't, blown away by it. She got the job done in here, did what she was supposed to do. Some of her other races, I guess they're okay, Dan. I just haven't really been taken with her. I'm not sure how good I really think she is. And I just didn't really see her getting the lead in here. And I think that makes it tough for her to win.
The number 5, Morning Matcha, perhaps lacks a little bit of upside after 12 lifetime starts, but I think there's a way you can sort of break down her form and say that she's maybe a little bit better than she looks. They tried turf last time out. That's probably not going to be her surface. The Black-Eyed Susan, she had a lousy post position and just didn't do any running that day. And then in the Gazelle 3 starts back, again, no match for Shotgun Hottie, but perhaps in a little bit tough. This is more her class level, and she'll be a good price.
Yeah, I mean, all those things are true. And I guess if the pace projector's right and they really go in front of her, it's only going to help her chances, Dan. I don't think she's bad. I'll say that about her. I can't say that I love, any of her recent races, though. And I just wonder how much more upside she has.
Sandstone showed a lot of potential last year when trained by Kenny McPeak. She won the Rags to Riches by the length of the stretch, and she beat a pretty nice filly in Ugiri. Now, in the Goldenrod, you could argue she disappointed a little bit at odds on that day, although she was bumped at the start and then chased wide. Her last 2 races, I think you can make an excuse for the Turfway race. Well, she may not like Polytrack at all. Last time out, that's a little bit tougher for me to kind of say I'm willing to give her a big excuse.
Yeah, me too. It's not like it was a huge layoff for her. It was her first start for Catalano, so maybe they were just getting to know her. Dan, I don't know. She's lost 3 in a row now as the favorite. Listen, I recognize that those 2 wins towards the end of last year, she was pretty impressive in both of those. Again, maybe let us go back to show and speed here, put her on the lead, and she'll rebound.
Unadulterated, the number 7, lightly raced filly with a ton of upside potential for Brittany Russell. She's won 2 of her last 3, including this effort at Delaware, going a mile and 70 yards. And in this race, she went right to the lead. I thought she carved out a pretty legitimate pace, and she was just best as the favorite. Now, when she was beaten by Chardonnay, who outfooted her to the lead. I talked to Brittany Russell earlier today, and she said that Unadulterated's probably at her best when she makes the lead, and she doesn't see an Unadulterated making the lead in here. She's hoping she could stalk and pounce.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does. She's looked okay at times to me, Dan. I don't, I wouldn't totally give up on her in this race, but man, does she really have to improve if she's going to beat this field. And I thought she ran fine winning last time, but she, at the end of the day, had a pretty soft trip in that race, and we just saw the stretch run there. It's not like she was super impressive winning.
You have to respect anything trainer Jonathan Thomas sends out on the racetrack, and the 8 Frippet is stepping up off of a maiden special win at Monmouth. Now, we're going to take a look at this race. This is an off-the-turf race, basically facing a bunch of turf horses. She's 1-10, and she wins like a 1-10 shot should. But it does appear that she's getting better with each start, and the connections are showing some confidence throwing her into this graded race.
Yeah, right. It's hard to get excited about this win. Although I will say, it's not like she just strolled to the front and wired the field. I mean, she had a horse pretty much pressing her all the way up the backstretch, and she shrugged that horse off. She easily held off the runner up there to the wire. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good performance. And as opposed to some of the others, I feel like she's probably going to be okay if she doesn't make the lead in here.
12-1 on the morning line, jockey to be determined. Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel. Saratoga Del Mar right around the corner. Lots of DRF TV video offerings coming up. Top pick time for the Delaware Oaks. I just think Shotgun Hottie has a lot of things going for her. I'm not sure I want to take too short of a price, but she's run against some good horses. The distance shouldn't be an issue, and she's going to get the right setup, I believe.
Yeah, I agree with all those things. And maybe more than anything else, Dan, it just feels like they've just found a really good spot for her. I mean, they're just running her in the right kind of race here. She's supposed to be tough in this spot. I took her as well. I will be interested to see how they bet the race, though, because I think either of the 2 horses to her inside have a legit chance to upset her.
We're both going to go with the 3, 1, and the 2 in our tries. Mike's going 3, 1, 2, 6. I'll go 3, 2, 1, 5. Nice card at Delaware on Saturday. The grade 3 Delaware Oaks is the co-feature.